Hi guys, so the last Trading 212 portfolio update that I did was in March, so it's been a really long time. I was kind of avoiding doing the Trading 212 updates because they, as far as I'm aware, still haven't started accepting new customers, so it felt a bit weird sort of making videos about the platform when they weren't accepting new users. But still doesn't seem to be the case, and I don't want to put it off for too long, so I thought I would just do a very quick Trading 212 portfolio update. I did move things around a little bit just before the end of the tax year, so I did sell a bunch of my shares on the general investment account, and then I moved the money to my ISA account just to maximize the ISA allowance. But when we go into it, you will see that I still have a lot left in the general accounts. Now, the reason for that is because a lot of the positions that I didn't sell out of were actually in the red, and I didn't want to sell them when they were in the red. So essentially all of the positions that were in the green just before the end of March, I just sold out of and then transferred the money across. Hopefully that makes sense, but yeah, let's have a look at what it looks like. So if you have been following the market lately, you know that pretty much everything is tanking at the moment. So a lot is in the green at the moment, and I'm really sad because I have no spare cash to buy any more. I don't know if you feel like that too when the markets dip and you really want to buy, but you literally have no cash left. So sad moment. But let's have a look at what it looks like. So within the invest accounts, first one is AMD. So no change there in terms of my holdings, still 3 shares, but I'm now 15.5% down. I am holding, I'll probably add a little bit to it when I do have money to spare, but you can see as well that almost 5% of that dip is the FX impact. Next we've got Amazon. So I'm currently at 0.226 shares, which is an increase of 0.12 since the last update. I'm currently down 3%, but pretty much the majority of it is the FX impact. AstraZeneca next, so 7.5 shares at the moment, which is an increase of 1 full share since my last update. So I did get a whole share in this, and I'm currently down 1.9%. So not too bad considering everything that's going on. So I'm quite pleased with that. I also quite like that my average price here is £80. It's a nice round number. Beyond Meat, so 0.9 shares here, which is about half a share more than last time. So obviously I've increased my position here, but I am currently down 23% on this. But I do really believe that Beyond Meat is a brilliant company, and if you follow me for a while, you know I'm vegetarian and I really like their products. So I really do think that they are going to do well long term. So iShares Electric Vehicles ETF next, 31.9 shares in this, which is actually a big increase since the last update. I've added 18.5 shares to this, and I'm currently down 1.6%, of which basically all of that is the FX impact. If it wasn't for the FX, I would actually be up about 1.1%. So iShares Physical Silver is next. So this is a new addition. I have had this in my ISA, but the 8.5 shares is a new addition here. So currently up 3%, which is really good, because as you can see, the FX impact is dragging it down, so it would be even higher if it wasn't for that. Pfizer next, no change here since last time, still 1.9 shares and currently 1% up as well. And you can see here that the real gain is 7.5 and the FX impact is actually minus 6.5%. Tesla next, 0.329 shares here, down 14%. But this is an increase of about 0.2 of a share since last time. So I have increased my holding here. I think Tesla's dropped because of supply issues, similar to some of my other renewable energy stocks that I hold. So I'm sure it'll go back up. And then Unilever, 23.3 shares here, which you can see is about £1,000 in Unilever. Currently down 1.3%, which isn't too bad at all. This is actually an increase of about 5 shares since my last update. I love Unilever. I think it's one of my favorite investments, and I will continue to add to this. As long as I have cash to invest, I will always put a little bit into Unilever. So in terms of some of the shares where I just took the profit and didn't reinvest in my ISA, there are essentially 2 of them, and that was PayPal and Plug Power. So I took my profits on both of those and decided not to reinvest in either of them. Plug Power has been very volatile, and I wish I'd taken the profits when I was like 180% up, but I still took a very small profit on them. And PayPal, I'm big on not investing in companies that you don't like, and PayPal have been doing my head in, and there are just so many issues that I'm having with them, and I'm seeing places stop using them as well. So I just decided to take profit on that and leave it. So if we go into the ISA next, I am doing a lot better in my ISA than I am in the general invest account. So if we just look at the daily dividend pie first, because I'm not going to go through all the individual holdings here, there are too many, but you can see here that I'm up 11% on that portfolio, and it has been giving me a lot of dividends. Not huge amounts, because obviously it's not a huge amount that I've got invested, but they are coming very, very frequently. So if we have a look here, you can see that the dividend income from it has been £4.50. Like I said, not a lot, because it is only £1,000 invested. And if you do want to see all the individual holdings here, just check out my last updates. I ran them through on the screen so that you could have a look. But in terms of the individual holdings, we've got AbbVie first, no change in my holdings. We're looking at half a share here and up 21.9% at the moment. And I do hold AbbVie elsewhere, so that's why this one is quite small. And you can see here that 0.2 of that 0.5 is actually from the pie that I have. Google next. So we're looking at 0.03 shares here. It's a slight decrease, so a decrease of about 0.02 since my last one. So this is one of the ones that I moved across from the general investment account into the ISA. I didn't decrease this on purpose. I just decided to allocate in a different way based on what positions were up and which were down. So it wasn't like a decision that I want to decrease my position in Google. I will be increasing this as well. Apple next, so a very, very, very small increase here of like 0.02. So we're looking at 0.91 shares here, currently down about 5%. AT&T, no change in my holding, 1.2 shares here. Again, I hold a lot more of this elsewhere, which is why this is just a small amount here, but currently overall up 4.4%. Again, just like with some of the others, the FX impact is massively dragging this down. Comcast, Dover and Enviva, no change in my holdings. You can see here I'm up 26% on Comcast, which is my new AT&T. I'm a huge fan of them, and I keep saying I'm going to increase my position, but it keeps going up and up and up. So I need to just start not waiting for dips and just doing it. Dover up 14% and Enviva up 4.7%. iShares Core FTSE 100, so no change in my holdings, still 30.5 shares, but this was one of the ones that I moved across from the general investment account to the ISA. So I'm still currently up 6.2% on this since I moved it across, which is really good. So about 2 months ago and up 6%. iShares Physical Silver again, so I told you I held this in both the ISA and the general investment account now. So 7 shares, no change in that amount, but currently down 10.6%, which is a lot, which is interesting. with the other position, but it all just depends on when you get in. Johnson & Johnson next, up about 0.6 shares since last time, currently up 2.6% despite the FX impact. And you know, this is one of my favorite stocks completely. So really pleased that despite the FX impact, it is still holding on strong, and 2.6 isn't a lot, but considering how much everything else is down, I'm really pleased with that. Microsoft, so down about 1.5 shares here, but again, just like one of the others, this isn't a conscious decision to reduce my holdings in Microsoft. It was purely about how I reallocated this money when I moved the holdings across. So again, I will be adding back to this. It was just that some of the other shares were at a good price and I wanted to just allocate some more money to those whilst they were essentially on offer. So currently just 0.29 shares in this and up 2.92%. National Grid, I've added 15 shares since my last update. So currently sitting at 86.5 shares and up 7.3%. National Grid pays a great dividend. You can see here 5.3% at the moment. Realty Income, I've added 1.3 shares since last time, so you can see here about £1,066 here, and currently up 2.1% despite the 5% loss on the FX impact. So really well, doing really well rather. And I love to see that monthly dividend increasing. I think I'm on like £3.70 a month at the moment. Starbucks 2.27, and that's an increase of about 0.8 of a share since my last update. So currently £180, and that's up 2.6%. Again, being dragged down by the FX, but still a pretty decent return. Tesla, again, duplicates here in the ISA, but currently 0.169 here, and it's up 9%. No change in the ISA holdings since the last time either, so same amount, but up 9%. And then the final two holdings here that I usually go through, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETFs. So as you can see, I hold two, and as you know, it's because one is held in pounds and one is held in dollars. So I've added 0.1 of a share to the top one here, which is 0.75 shares. They are both up, one's up 7% and one is up 8%. So fairly close to each other, but doing pretty well. That's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this was useful. I know that a lot of you enjoy the portfolio updates. I know I rushed through them really quickly, but when I watch other people's portfolio updates, I don't really enjoy when people go too much into detail and rambling. I just like to know what's going on, and that's it. So that's what I try to give in my videos. But yeah, that's it for now, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.